Ahoy, folks! So, back at PAX West, Square Enix invited me to check out 3 games. One of them I already did a whole separate video on, being the Dragon Quest III HC 2D remake, but we've still got 2 more to cover here, being Romancing SaGa 2 and Fantasian Neo Dimension. So, first up, let's talk about Romancing SaGa 2, Revenge of the Seven. This is a complete remake of a Japanese exclusive game from 1993, and this remake is made by the team who developed the Trials of Mana remake a few years back. Thankfully, this Saga game stands on its own, so whether you've played other games in the series, or this is your first one, you'll be able to jump in no problem, which was great for me. The demo had us following Gerard after the passing of his father, Emperor Leon. While the voice acting was a bit cheesy at times, the setup and presentation for this section was great for the demo. It set the stakes of the current situation. The Emperor has passed, goblins are invading the city, and the prince must stand up to the challenge. This led into some battles against the goblins, and thankfully, they were easy to follow. The battle flow is fairly simple, with the turn order displayed up top, and weaknesses were displayed on targeted enemies as they were discovered. Needless to say, the UI was easily understood, so jumping right into the game was simple enough. These goblin encounters were a great demonstration of the battle mechanics, and I found myself eagerly jumping into each one. Though, I did find the controls navigating the overworld to be a little bit awkward. We were playing on the PS5, and the triangle button was to jump, which just felt awkward in execution. At the end of my demo time slot, there was a major choice to make: march on to war against one of the 7, or eradicate the nearby goblins as revenge for their attack on the city. I had just chosen to take out the goblins, but didn't really get to play more at that point. I did mess around with the party composition a bit though, since there are a lot of characters with different classes and weapons to work with. Overall, Romancing SaGa 2 feels like an interesting take on a traditional RPG, with the expansive cast of characters, and the fact that the game spans generations. I wasn't really sure what to expect going into this game, but I'm actually pretty curious for more. Next, let's talk about Fantasian Neo Dimension. This game was created by Hironobu Sakaguchi, and composed by Nobuo Uematsu, both of whom you might recognize from the Final Fantasy series. While this game was originally released on the Apple Arcade a few years back, this new version has all sorts of updated features. I was never able to check out this game on the Apple Arcade, so I was curious what I would see here. And first off, the art style is beautiful. The handcrafted dioramas for every set piece is such a cool idea, and they look stunning. When it comes to the gameplay though, admittedly, I was a bit confused at first. See, where the demo started, I wasn't really sure where to go at first, so I just followed the path ahead of me, which led straight to a boss. But before the boss, I did manage to check out the dimension, where a lot of enemies from the overworld had already been stored. So, needless to say, that meant a sudden and extensive battle ahead of me in this alternate dimension. It took a few minutes to understand exactly what was going on with the battle system, since this demo is basically right in the middle of a section of the game. But after a few minutes, it started to click. Characters spend MP for different attacks, and the traditional turn-based RPG mechanics are given a unique spin with the ability to aim the attacks. Some go in a straight line and hit one enemy, some move in an arc and hit all enemies along the path, and some are just AoEs. While it took a bit to get used to, I really liked this battle system, as it allowed for really creative strategies to take out the enemies based on their positions and weaknesses. During this onslaught of enemies in another dimension, I decided to check out the music toggle, as we were told that there were some songs from Final Fantasy games. But right away, I was jump scared by the Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker song, being the Zeromus battle theme. Listen guys, I recently finally cleared that extreme for the first time, so hearing that song pop in suddenly was really unexpected, but I loved it. For those curious, the Dawn Trail song used for this battle was the Valley Garmonda battle theme. Of course, these were just for the Dimension battle, so these would be different in other battles as well. But again, I was a bit silly, and accidentally headed straight for the boss of the area. So, right after beating all these enemies in the Dimension, it was time to battle against the large stone golem. We were told that not many were able to beat this boss during these preview demos, so I felt determined to try my best against it. It took the use of a few healing and revival items, but right when we were told to swap games, I managed to beat the golem. It gave me a really good understanding of the battle systems here, And so I can comfortably say I'm really excited for Fantasian Neo Dimension now. And it may just be the one I'm most excited for of the 3 Square Enix games that I recently got to check out. This art style and battle system have me really intrigued. But seriously, there's a lot of good RPGs coming from Square Enix right now. And with that, that'll do it for my impressions on Romancing SaGa 2, Revenge of the Seven, and Fantasian Neo Dimension. Thank you all so much for watching, and make sure to like the video, comment your thoughts, and subscribe for plenty more gaming goodness. Until next time, farewell everyone.